catastrophic. So these things do occur, and I think that Congressman Rohrbacher's concerns are genuine. I would point out that I think, if I remember the testimony right, something like 99% of the resources spent on detecting near-Earth objects are American resources. It would seem to me like other spacefaring nations and scientific nations, this is one where it's not a zero-sum game. We're sort of all in it together. And I think this is one that begs for international cooperation. And then finally, I'd suggest, and I'm sorry Dana's not here to hear it, but you know, sometimes we give these warnings and we get to later say, I told you so, but if it's going to be hard to hold anybody responsible if we get hit by one of these things. The human race goes extinct. It's just going to be tough to hold any agency specifically. So one of the problems he has is that there's maybe more immediate concerns from folks that have to allocate resources. With that, Mr. Chairman, we don't get to see slideshows in the Financial Services Committee, so I'm going to give up my questioning time and
I know the ranking member and I will do everything possible to hold a hearing if that day does arrive. Dr. Stern, if I might, I'm going to take a few more minutes and then we'll end with some inspirational images from Mars, from the red planet. And you may want to direct this to Dr. Freilich, I know, who's here. What, if any, research are you doing in the Earth Science and Applications program to better understand the impact of aviation on climate and how it might be mitigated? Do you think NASA should be doing research in this area if it's not already, given the potential for regulatory actions to penalize aviation emissions down the road? And then, Dr. Moore, you may want to comment once the NASA team has had a chance to comment.
Yes, sir. Well, I think if you'd like a full answer on it now rather than taking it for the record, I would invite Dr. Freilich to the microphone, and he can give a better answer than I could, if that's acceptable. Please, Mike.
We will take it for the record and give you a complete answer. I can say that there are several aspects of aviation and applications and science that are covered in our programs. In the science programs, our fleet of satellites measure atmospheric compositions and measure cloud and aerosol properties. Some of these clouds and aerosols are the result of aviation exhaust, if you will, or whatever, the result of aviation. It's fairly prevalent. Actually, not surprisingly, but when there was little aircraft flights over the U.S. Right after the tragedy of 9/11, it gave us a remarkably clean view of from our flying satellites of the situation without aircraft that could be compared to the normal situation with aircraft. And I will get you in more detail the specific studies that are going on right now. We are also in the applications program conducting a number of studies with the Federal Aviation Administration and NOAA to improve aviation and its interactions with the environment, in particular the effects of icing on aircraft and predictions of that, to better route aircraft and to improve the overall air traffic system.
Thank you. And Dr. Moore, please comment.
It seems clear to me that certainly in the aeronautics program, looking at aircraft efficiency and in particular the issue of carbon emissions is going to be a great opportunity. In some of these, we ought to recognize that these green issues, well, the color of money is green. And in terms of being competitive, we should think about can we improve the U.S. aircraft fleet so that on carbon emissions, it has lower carbon emissions per traffic mile, per passenger mile. And that's going to be particularly important as we look to the era of cap and trade on carbon emissions or carbon tax. These will become very real economic benefits for the country if we could make the kind of engineering progress that I think is that would be natural for an aeronautics program to focus upon.
Those are excellent insights, and I agree with the right leadership, the right incentives, in some cases the right regulatory structure. I'm betting on our entrepreneurs, on our capital flows, on our technology, and it's one of the shortest but the most powerful sound bites around right now. There is green in green. So I appreciate you pointing that out to all of us. We want to sell this technology all over the world. Thanks again to the panel. Dr. Squires, do you want to end with some inspirational, exciting?
Yes, sir. I would enjoy that
images of the
very
red
much.
planet?
I always like showing off the latest pictures from
Please,
Mars.
and if we can bring the lights down,
Yeah, that'd be great.
make it even more exciting.
Yeah. Today is day 1,491 of our 90-day mission to Mars. Both Spirit and Opportunity rovers are continuing to do extraordinarily well, doing great science, and moreover, they are part of an armada of spacecraft from NASA, also a European spacecraft that are at Mars right now and daily sending back new data. I've just brought a few pictures for you. This is a recent picture from the rover Opportunity. Opportunity landed about 6 kilometers, about 4 miles to the north of where this picture was taken. Over a period of years, drove to a spectacular impact crater called Victoria Crater. It's 800 meters in diameter. It's about 70 meters deep. It's a spectacular window into the subsurface of Mars. As we speak, Opportunity is down inside Victoria Crater, going down into the rocks, exploring, and sort of taking a trip back in time as we look at the rocks exposed there. One of the reasons that I chose this particular image is that if you look off in the distance, sort of on the far horizon, you'll see a large cliff there. That's about, 25, 30 feet high. That's a place that we've named Cape Verde. And after we finish doing the geology that we're doing at this particular location, we're going to try to get as close as we can to that and take what should be some absolutely stunning images of it. This picture came down from the Spirit rover less than 24 hours ago. So this was happening on Mars yesterday. Spirit is in a place called Home Plate and is investigating some rocks immediately in front of the rover. You can see the rover's arm reaching out and making measurements. This particular rock outcrop is one that we've named Wendell Pruitt. Wendell Pruitt was one of the members of the Tuskegee Airmen. We have chosen the Tuskegee Airmen to honor to name rocks in this particular area. He was one of the first great African-American fighter pilots. And here's a picture of Wendell Pruitt, the rock. This was taken with our microscopic imager just a day or so ago. I will not attempt to analyze that image. I just saw it for the first time yesterday, but stuff is happening on Mars. I also wanted to show you one more image, and this comes not from the rovers, but from one of that armada of orbital spacecraft. Every now and then, Mars will just surprise the heck out of us. And this was a wonderful one. What you are seeing here is an avalanche caught in the act of happening. This is a picture taken from a spacecraft called the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. It has a spectacular high-resolution camera that can look down from orbit and see objects as small as a meter or so in size. And this is near the Martian North Polar region on a very steep slope, and this is an avalanche roaring down a slope on Mars, and we happened to catch it as we were flying overhead. Just beautifully to me illustrates what a dynamic and interesting place Mars is. So we continue to do the best science that we can, and we appreciate your support.
Those are terrific pictures, Mr. Chairman. You know, to a Floridian, they look a lot like parts of Colorado.
Thanks again to the panel, Dr. Stern. Thank you, Dr. Fisk, Dr. Moore, Dr. Squires, Dr. Burns. Another inspirational panel. Thank you for your commitment to this very, very important part of our future. Look forward to having you back, and thanks again for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.